All right, now we're recording. Excellent. Thank you again, Kareem. So what I'm hoping to cover today, I'm first going to screen share, just look at the calendar, just to make sure we're covering everything.
Mhm.
Then we'll look at a video talking about methods. Then we'll definitely take a look at this. Okay, excuse me. The coding project. And then if you have any last minute questions, then I'll answer those. Just a question, how far are you now on this next coding project? Started?
I am pretty far actually.
Pretty far.
Uh,
Okay, excellent.
yeah.
Have you been able to get any output?
No, yeah, that's what I've been having trouble with.
I
And
see.
I know why, because I have some loose ends that aren't tied up, and
Okay.
I've been trying to like figure out what they are, and I was having kind of trouble with that.
I
So,
see. I got you. Um, okay, let me, this will go quick and then we'll make sure to watch the video quickly and then we will do all that good stuff. Okay.
okay.
So, we're on this week, the 26th through the 2nd. So, topics, methods, parameters, return values, scope. Apparently, recursion's not on there. That is a 1302 issue. So, we don't have to worry too much about that. I'm assuming you've probably done the homework and quizzes and discussions. So, do you have any questions on those topics?
Um, Let me think. Okay, how does parameter and return comments work?
Okay. So, yeah, that is actually, if you know what we can do. Here, give me a second. I can actually just show you those questions those videos I was planning to show right now if you like. Um and then yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. Do you need to go over methods or are you okay on that front?
I'm okay on that.
Okay. Then what we will do is we'll just have a slight change to what we do. We're going to watch these videos. Now, I believe they do talk about those return and parameter statements. Um, So we will watch these.
Now that we have a good understanding about how to create a method,
Okay. Apologize for the noise in the background if you can hear that.
Oh, I can't hear any noise in the background.
Okay. I don't know why my neighbors panic. He probably hit their panic button or something on their car. Okay. And okay, so we're first going to do parameters and then we'll
and how to
do
use
return.
that method inside of a class, I want to look at an important aspect of methods, and that is their parameters. You'll notice in this example that the draw square method does not have any parameters or anything being passed to it. It would just go on about its business without having a parameter. In this video, what I want to look at is, what if we add a parameter to a method? And in order to do that, what I've done is created two classes, Calc 101, as in Calculator 101, and Calc 101 Runner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two integer values, n1 and n2, the first assigned to 20, the second assigned to 10. Then I'm going to construct an object of the Calc 101 class, and that object reference is going to be math. Now you say, there's nothing inside of Calc 101. Well, you'd be right, so let's put something there so we have a method to use. The method that we're going to want to use is called add, and it has a simple task of taking in two values and adding them together. If I want to take in two values, I'm going to have to add some parameters. And so I add two integer parameters, num1 and num2. Notice that when I add them, that they have a data type and they also have an identifier. Anything inside of the parentheses when a method is created are called formal parameters, or they are identifiers used in a method to stand for the value that is passed to them. And we're going to be passing some values to them very soon. Also, I want you to note that the formal parameters are separated by a comma. So if you have more than one parameter, you're going to separate it with a comma. And another important note here that I want to make is that all formal parameters must have a data type. When declaring a value in a method, sometimes you can leave off a data type and it is assumed to take on the data type that is before it. But in this case, and with formal parameters, you can't do that. So if I tried to do something like this and take off the data type, this would result in an error. Every single formal parameter has to have a data type. It will not assume that the data type you meant for the first one is going to be the data type you mean for the second one. So now that we know what formal parameters are, let's add something to the method body. And as I said, the purpose of the add method is to add two values together. And so I've created a variable called sum, and I'm taking num1 and num2, which are the formal parameters, and I'm going to add them together. Once added, I'm going to display a result for the user, printing out the first and second values with a plus sign in between, and then equals whatever the value of sum is. We have finished our add method, so let's go back to the runner class and utilize the method that we just created. And we do that by using the object, which is math, and then adding the method, which is add. And notice that we're using the two variables from the top of the program, n1 and n2, so that we could add those two together. These parameters also have a name, and their name is actual parameters or arguments. They're the values that are being passed to the formal parameters. And so when this runs, the actual values, 20 and 10, would be passed over to the formal parameters, num1 and num2. They'd be added together, and they would print out the result. So let's see how this would work out if we were to run this program. We're always going to start with the main method. We create our two variables, n1 and n2. We create our object, and then we're going to make a call or invoke the method. Saying math.add n1, n2 is just like saying math.add 20, 10. So then we'd go over to our calc class, and the actual parameters n1 and n2 would be passed over to the formal parameters num1 and num2. Num1 and num2 are 20 and 10, so those two would add together, and sum would now be 30. So now that we have a sum, we can move on to the system.out.println method, which is going to print out the number, a plus sign, the second number, and the sum, and the output would look something like this. 20 plus 10 equals 30. The add method would then be done. We would go back to the main method. The call of the add method would be done, and therefore the main method would be done. And so now we see how formal and actual parameters connect. In this next part, what I'd like to talk about is how formal and actual parameters must be the same.
Also, Kareem, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry to pause midway through, but has this video helped a little bit, or like?
Yes.
Okay. Did it answer your question yet, or no?
Not about the comment part, because I do understand about like.
Okay, so you understand this part then?
Yes.
Like, okay, so you're talking about the at param. Okay. Oh wait, I think I do remember.
And does the at param comment, does that affect your code? Like, does comments affect your code?
No. So these at comments, they typically don't affect your code, at least to my knowledge. So typically, it's very similar to you know how in the beginning of your code, Professor Service, she wants you to have like an at author, at version, that type of stuff.
Right.
So it's very similar to that. All it really does, what the at param and at return statements are trying to say is, oh, we're planning to return this statement, or this is this parameter this is our parameter. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. So you understand the basic tenets of method parameters and return statements, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Then I don't think we'll need to go too far. We probably won't need to watch any more of the videos unless you need to later, but that's fine. And And also next time, man, if something isn't helping you, just let me know, and then so that like
Okay.
I can see so that we can move a bit, not necessarily quicker, but just so that we can spend more time in your programming project because I know that's definitely important. So
Right, but that was very useful information because
was it okay?
I'm a complete beginner to computer science as a
Yeah,
whole. You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah.
don't mind some being reiterated to me.
Okay. Well, if you would like me to, I can always send you the links to um these videos, or you could just go to their YouTube channels and like So, for example, I think I've already gone over this with you, but I don't. I'm happy to go over it again. You just need to go to Nathan Schutz or Cave of Programming. Both of them are excellent resources that I highly recommend. Um, and really, all you have to do is just like look up Cave of Programming and then just say return statement or return value, or just say
Okay,
return. It'll
I
it'll
just
it'll
wrote them down. Thank you.
okay. Yeah. And let me know. Do you want me to send you the links to those website to the videos?
Yes, that would be good.
Okay. Then I will send you the link to this method one so that you can watch it on your own time. Because frankly, if we can spend more time working on your programming project, that's going to be, I believe that'll help you a bit more. And if we have time, extra time left, then we can probably look into these videos a bit more. And
Now that we
remember,
have a good
if
understanding
you
about how to create a method,
oh, I'm sorry. If you ever have questions, particularly about like syntactical questions, if you will, about computer science, whether it's like, oh, what is the at param or at return? Besides
Mhm.
checking your textbook, always look at the Java 8 API. It'll typically let me be a little bit more specific. So let's just look up at param. If you find you can use Stack Overflow, I highly suggest that. Or W3 Schools is okay. I don't know if I really go with that all the time. If you can get it from Oracle, though, that would be the best because they're the ones behind. So yeah, so this one. So if you ever need to look for something,
Uh-huh.
definitely check with Oracle because they create or they didn't create, but they help improve Java and update it. So
Oh, okay.
definitely check with them because they're basically like the architects of this language, if you will.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, sounds good.
Hmm.
Okay, now if you'd like to, you can share your screen, and then we can take a look at your code for the programming project.
Okay. Cool. Mm.
All right.
Okay.
So, what are we looking at?
Okay. So I was okay. So the first thing is that I was having trouble with this part right here. Like, you see where it says this method calculates the average for
Yes.
homework grades? Okay, so right here is where I have to put comments for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of confused on that part because they already have a comment right here, so I don't even know what more can I say. If that makes
So
sense.
what they mean is so this is where you want to use your at param and at return statements. So you want to say what your parameter is, which given that there's nothing in the parentheses for get homework average, I don't believe you have a parameter. As we've seen from that uh, Java link that we were looking at earlier, or Oracle link.
Right.
But you do have a return statement. They're saying they want you to return your homework average. So at line 54, what do you think you have to do?
We say that one more time, and then I can think about it.
Okay, sure. So, do you want me to start from like where do you want me to start? Like just the return statement part?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, let me actually go back a little bit further, but it won't take too long. So we are in the comments right now. What we have to understand when dealing with comments is that they have, as long as you do the backslash, no, as long as you do the slash as they've done before, and if it's after the code, then you do like 2 slashes. If it's like above it, then you do slash star star and all that good stuff. Especially if you need multiple spaces. But what we have to realize with comments is that they are simply there just to help people who are looking at the code understand what the purpose is. Because right now, let's say I was a complete novice to computer programming,
Right.
kind of like you are right now, but you actually know some things. So if I were to look at this code, I'd be very confused on what it's trying to do because I don't know what a for loop is. I don't know what it's intended to do. But if we look at the comments and see, oh, this calculates the average for the homework grades. That's excellent. If you can see what if you say at param and you had parameters in that method statement, get homework average, then they'd be like, okay, so we need these two variables, and then whatever number is in those variables will go into that method. And then the return statement essentially just tells you what you're planning to return. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And this is at return, not like return like homework average. Okay. So what I was asking you was, what do you believe should go at line 54? Meaning
Okay.
I told you.
So yeah. Well, I know we would do an at param and an at return, and I guess for an at param, it will be a way that we'll reiterate what is said, like for the this is method thing. Like for the first comment that you see, I guess we will be reiterating it in a way that is understandable. That makes
Yes,
sense.
basically. All you're really trying to so pretend you're trying to summarize a book. That's really what you're just trying to do with these comments. So from line 52 to 54, you're just trying to summarize what this segment of code is trying to do. It's like for the past programming projects, you've been able to perform rather well in them because they gave you instructions, which were the comments. Now, what you're trying to do is trying to emulate the same thing, if you will,
Hmm.
by saying like, okay, so this is what our return statement's going to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I guess just do that for line 54. But yeah. And just so you know, just so it's clear, these comments, and you probably already know this, they won't affect the code unless
Hmm.
you take out those slashes. But other than that, it won't affect the code.
Okay. All right.
Let me
Um.
take a look at comp sci. I'm glad to see that you haven't been too affected by the power outages.
Oh yeah. I live way away from the Dunwoody area, so
I see. Okay. Well,
yeah.
that's good. Because I know a lot of my friends. They've definitely had some issues.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people were affected by it.
Yeah. Okay. So did we do what we needed to do at line 54?
Oh, okay. Oh, you wanted me to. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Just do that at line 54. Now, wait. Okay, there you go. Excellent. Good job.
So I guess I can say this. Uh, does it? Why does it highlight? Why is it highlighting this?
That is a good question. I am not sure why it does that. It shouldn't.
Okay, I got it.
It may be some sort of like statement or something like that that I just don't know of. Let me see. That's a good question. That's gonna take too long. Good. Okay. So from what I understand, there seems to be a method called this object. You won't need to know this. Apparently, it just returns an object reference for the target object represented by this tie.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't know. That's probably something separate that, frankly, you don't need to know for this course.
Right.
That's probably why it was highlighted.
Now for the return, the at return comment, would I put homework average or do I find another way to reiterate that?
What you want to do is just you want to define what homework average is.
Oh, okay.
Like, even though the variable is self-explanatory, it's helpful sometimes to just define it. Now, for the at param, why do you say this part of the code will get your average homework grade in the class?
I was just reiterating what it was saying. I did that wrong?
Well, okay. Cause see, I think it doesn't seem like I don't believe you'll need an at param. Okay, wait. Complete the mess. Oh, God. Okay, do me a favor. Go to calculate grade average for me. That method.
Uh, wait, where?
Huh?
Trying to figure out what calculate grade average.
Yeah, the probably is at the bottom.
Where? Okay, right
Okay.
here.
Okay, so that's okay. Wait. Hmm. Now they want you to use one at param for each parameter no grouping. Okay.
And what do they mean by that? No grouping. Like I don't know what they mean by that.
I think they just don't want you to. She doesn't want you to group like homework average and homework as one parameter. For
Oh,
example,
okay.
or test average or test. I believe that's what she means. I'm not sure, frankly. Let me see. Let me think. Okay. I need to think about this add param part real quickly.
Yeah, because I was also thinking to myself too. I was like, does it even need an app program? I don't even think because I think in the instructions when I read the instructions, I don't think it says that I have
I
to do
was
an app program. I
yeah
just have to do a comment.
Yeah, so I
Yeah. What is
under
it?
the impression that you needed some like we were watching the video, typically you have your parameter inside the method, right? So I was under the impression that you'd probably only need that at param when you had a parameter. But from what I'm seeing in your directions, it's saying for number 11, if you take a look, it says in the calculate grade average method, which you may have to rename because think I saw you named it get grade average, which is fine, but just for the sake of oh, I see. Okay, I can explain this to you. But just for the sake of clarity, if you will, so that you don't get points off, just call it the calculate grade average method. Now, regarding the parameters, so I read a little bit more, and it says, excuse me. Now it says that so you pass the four variables you create as parameters for homework, test, midterm, and final exam to the method. So we are talking about you're just gonna say like at param, and then just say what like homework grade or something like that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Now, whether or not you use the variable name, because um you may need to. Let's see.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
You're good. Now, I sent you a link to that website I was talking about. Now that is for comment tags.
Okay.
I think the problem with this is that that's for JavaDoc. Um, Let me see if I can find something for just Java. Well, JavaDoc may fall into our purview.
Let me read these instructions again. Two. Yeah, because see, it says, yeah. So for what I have to do is they say complete the method comment and at tag.
Yeah,
And then later on in the instructions for the calculate grade average, it then says you must use one param and one return tag. So I don't believe for the other ones I have to use a param or return tag.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think you might as well because they're saying that you need a that you need to use an at tag. So you might as well just
Oh,
use
okay.
it because that's what they fall under. They fall under at tags. There's no, to my knowledge, there's no tag called at tag. That's just a general. It's like a topic, if you will, and then like at parameter, at return. Those are all under it or under its purview.
Right. Okay, did I do the return correct?
Let me see.
By saying what the homework average is.
That should be fine, I believe.
Okay.
Um, Let me check mine.
Oh yeah, one big problem that when I was when I would submit it, the kind of errors that it would give me was it would say that I am having what I'm trying to say. Like it will say I don't have a symbol declared or something. It would be like symbol not found. And
Hmm.
I could have sworn that I declared these, and I might have not, and just may not have noticed, but I feel like I did.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I don't know
Well,
what it means.
so I think what you have to realize, and this goes to the idea of scope, is that you should be fine. I think. Well, we have to see actually, but it really goes to the idea of scope. Do you know what scope is?
No,
For a variable.
no,
Okay, so what scope is for a variable essentially is how often, not how often, in like what area of the code can its meaning be retained, if does that make sense? So
yes,
let's look at lines 58 through 76. Okay, and let's look at the variable sum. Now we said double sum is equal to 0.
right,
Now let's say that we didn't have any homework in this class. Okay, they never graded homework. um well, actually, no. Let's just say we didn't do any of the homework. Okay, we blew it all off. Then we're left with a 0 in the class, and then well, not a 0 in the class, but a 0 in the as the homework average.
mm,
um so our sum is 0. But let's say that we knocked it out of the park on our tests and we got hundreds on it. Okay. um if this variable sum is only defined as 0 or initialized at 0 for the duration of this method. Okay? So
mm,
once you're done working on this homework method and you move on to the final exam, midterm, or test method, then that sum won't necessarily be counted there, if that makes sense. You will have a different sum.
okay,
Okay, so scroll down a little bit. So you see how they initialized sum again at line
yes,
87? Well, if I were you, I'd probably be thinking, hey, why they declare and initialize sum again? We already had it before. Well, the reason for that is we're dealing with the new method, because the scope of the variable only lasts during that method. When you exit that method, that sum is, you could say, no longer there, if you will. It's not really it's not counted
right,
anymore unless you call that method in a different method, which I believe in this coding project we will do. But we can mess with that when we need to. Does that make a bit more sense?
yes,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So, did you want to try printing out anything, or what else do we need to finish in the code or fix in the code?
You know what? Let me submit it, and then let me see from there.
Okay.
Better first, let me get ready. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think those dots they will affect the code much. I mean, we'll just have to fill them in later.
Okay. Yeah, I usually would like when I submit it, or when I would submit it with those dots, it would say something about it. So I just wanted to get
Oh,
rid of it.
well, then that's fine. Let's just see. Hopefully, get some output. All right, we didn't get some output. That's not great. A legal start of expression. Public static void. Give intro.
Yeah, that was at the very top,
Okay,
um,
scroll
for
up
the
to the
main
top.
method. Yeah.
Let's deal with that for a sec. Okay, so you have a method called give intro.
Yes. Well, I think I remember seeing like when I was doing some research on because I was trying to figure out like how I would introduce the application. I saw some stuff come up that was like give intro, and I think I remember seeing it later on in this code. Oh yeah, okay. So you see how down here it says give
Yes.
intro, and then it prints out the welcome message. Well, I thought that it wanted me to do the same thing right here.
So you wouldn't do the public static void again. I don't believe.
Oh, okay.
Um.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out exactly what to do right there.
Yeah. Let me take a look. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so actually, okay, so I was right. Okay, so all you have to do in that in line 21, you don't need the public static void give intro because you already have that method with like public static void. So you just need to call it, and in order to call an intro, excuse me, in order to call a method, what do you have to do?
Uh, well, don't you have to declare a what you call it? What is it? What is it called? A variable?
Why do you need to declare a variable?
Not declare a variable. What am I trying to say? Like the what is the like? Okay, well, we type in like double or it. What is that called?
A type?
Yeah, type like don't you have to do that?
Well, if we were dealing with variables.
Okay.
So because we're not really dealing with variables, I think let's make a little distinction here, Kareem. Okay,
Mhm.
so a method is a what's a good way to put it? It is like an operation, if you will. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah.
like, let's say um let's say we're working on like calculating triangles. Okay, we're just trying to find the length of the hypotenuse, or no. Let me think. No. Let's just say we're working with like a quadratic equation. Okay,
Mhm.
so and I had a calculator, okay? Now I could type it all out one by one, or I could just have a method that I call the Pythagorean theorem.
Mhm.
Okay, wait, no, sorry, not Pythagorean theorem, the quadratic formula. Okay, darn, I'm sleepy. I apologize.
Oh, it's fine, man.
Um, so let's say we have a method called the quadratic formula. Okay, now, with that, now you don't have to keep calculating by hand like negative b plus minus blah blah blah. You could just have a method where you just, as long as you give its numbers a, b, and c, then it'll output. So, it'll just give you the numbers. Does that make sense? A variable, on the other hand, it can't do that. All a variable can do is it can store a value. So for example, for test average, it will. I understand. I actually now understand why you were thinking you needed a variable, but the thing is, let's actually compare and contrast the methods. Okay, so with the give intro method, what are you trying to return?
Yeah. Okay. Uh, what am I trying to return?
Scroll down and see if you return anything.
Uh, I don't think I returned anything, did I?
Exactly, because
Yeah,
all you're doing,
yeah.
that's just a print statement. As a result, you don't need a variable at all because you're not trying to bring it back and take it out of that mini method and put it in the main method where you're going to do most of the calculation. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so all you need to say is give intro and then parentheses and then semicolon. A line.
Oh, okay.
Because all it's wanting you to do is to call the method, and so that's how you call it. And so
Okay.
that's how you did for 24 and 26 and 28. Except the difference was when you called it so that you can put whatever value you get from whether it's get test average or get midterm exam grade, and then you put it into a variable called test AVG and midterm exam. Does that make sense?
Right, right.
Okay, excellent.
Hey, let me see what other.
Okay. I would like you to try it again. And I just want to
Oh
make sure
yeah,
that
yeah,
it's going. Hopefully it prints out unless those errors keep coming back up, then nothing will print. Yeah, there it is. Okay, but it did go away, so we're good on that. All right. So now our problem is with our printf statements. So let's scroll up to line 33, recode. Or is that even 33? It seems a little bit high up, but let's see.
yeah.
I mean, I may be wrong. I don't know. Let's take a look.
Okay, it's right here. Yeah.
All right. So
Oh yeah, just the printf statement.
now, here's your problem. Uh, why do you have your percent %s, percent %.2f, percent %n in like its own string? And then you have your final is.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think you want that in your own string.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So okay. So it's supposed to be one string.
Yeah, so likely, just so what I want you to do right now is copy and paste where it starts at percent and then go to n. And that
Okay.
there.
You said copy and paste it right here.
No. So what I want you to do is I want you to highlight percent and then highlight all the way to the n, the first n you see.
Okay. So highlight this whole thing right here.
Yes, I want you to highlight it.
Okay. Uh,
Now I want you to
Okay.
copy that. So whether it's Command C or Control C, and then put it after the colon in is the colon. Just put it after the colon, okay? And then take your cursor
Mhm.
and just click between highlight the first string and just delete it. The entire
Okay.
first string. So like take out those quotations. Don't forget your parentheses. Yeah. Okay. Well, no, you need a. Yeah, it's tedious. Um, percent %s. What are you using the percent %s for?
Uh, sometimes when I'm like reading through the book, because I just try different things just related to whatever I'm trying to figure out. So I'm sure that was probably, I don't know if that actually worked or whatever. It probably didn't. So.
Okay. Well, percent %s may be for string. I don't recall. Let me see. You saw that in the textbook, percent %s?
Yes, I believe so. I either saw it there or I saw it on a coding website. It was one of those two, or a
Well, let's
YouTube video.
just go with what we have now, and then let's just check.
Okay, cool. So just like this, just like how
Yes.
it has it.
Keep it
Okay.
like for now, and then if we need to, we'll troubleshoot. We'll troubleshoot it.
Okay. Oh wow.
Well, that's a lot of issues.
Yeah, and this is the problem that I was having before. I don't know if it has anything to do with what just happened just now, but yeah, this usually happens. Like I was saying that it would say like cannot find symbol. Yeah, say
Okay.
cannot find symbol.
Now, are you okay? Scroll up for me for a second. Wait. Stop. Go down a little bit. Okay, yeah, no. Go look at. I want to see the calculated grade average where you like actually calculate it. Okay, so you put homework average. Okay, so here's some issues I'm already seeing. So you have midterm exam, for example, but then you put midterm grade.
Oh, okay. Because it says averages and grades. I put okay.
Yeah, well, remember, the computer is, if you will, inherently stupid, so it won't be able to decipher what between exam and grade. So you have to make sure that you have the same variables throughout.
Okay. So this should be just be final exam.
Yeah, say exactly.
Let me see. Let me see if I. Oh, okay. See right here, I named it midterm exam grade. So let me just take it.
Well, you don't have to change there, as
Oh,
long
okay.
as. So I think let's go over this a little bit more, okay?
Okay.
So you are returning when you're returning a variable, it'll be represented by your method when you get outside of that method into the main methods. Okay? So
Mhm.
let's go up all the way to the top where you were when you had where you had the variables and then you had the methods right after. So for example, at line 24, when you have double test average equal to get test average, okay? You didn't say double test average is equal to, let's just say I made up a random variable called test grade, okay? We didn't say that. What we did was we had a method and we used that method there, um and whatever value we obtain from that method goes into the variable test average. Now, Kareem, I want you to tell me, why do you think we are actually using methods? I want to gain some insight into what you understand about this. Why do you think we use methods?
Um, isn't it a easier way to is it an easier way to break down the code itself?
Yeah, definitely you could argue that. But why else? Why couldn't I just do what you wanted to do and then just use a variable?
Um,
Like, what do you think?
um, I really don't know to be honest. I'm trying to think about it. I really don't know.
So, what I want you to realize is, remember the thing I talked about with scopes and variables?
Yes.
So, what do you remember from that?
Okay. Scope. Good. Scopes and variables. Yeah, we just was talking about that. Okay.
It's okay. Do you want me to?
Yeah,
Well,
you could. Yeah,
let me
you can
jog your
reiterate it to
memory,
me.
okay? It's all good. Sometimes I have to watch some of those videos like a couple times just to get it down. You're okay, okay? And plus, it's like almost 7 o'clock, so um,
Right.
it's been a long day to say the least. Um, what What we have to realize, so let's think about variables and parameters, okay? So your variables, they last as long if they're inside the method, they last as long as your method, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just say we just used one method the entire time, okay? That
Mm-hmm.
means your test average, the number that's in there, is going
Mm-hmm.
to stay the same throughout. You will not change it one bit unless you like increment it somehow. But then that just
Okay.
makes the code messy, okay? So what these method statements allow you to do, it allows your code to be versatile. Rather than just have one value being inputted, you can input multiple values and you can even change some of those values later on and still get the results you expect. Okay? Rather than having to accommodate the code every single time you get a different number or like a different number of things.
Right.
Okay? So that's why we're using the methods. And also, just like you said too, it helps it look a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, and so it can make more sense to just the human eye. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Does that helps?
Yes.
Okay. Um, let me look at your method calculate grade average.
You about the one on line 30.
No, the method. So at line 30, you call the method, but I want to see the actual method. I want to see the code inside.
Are you talking about right here?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So
Oh yeah. Do I need to get rid of the grade part? I named it final exam grade.
no, if you already
You see. You did it? Yeah. Okay.
okay, wait. Mm-mm. Let me think. Okay, scroll up again. What I want you to try and do, like all the way up to like line 30 around, where you where you called the get average statement or whatever.
All right.
Yes. So at line 30, what I want you to do, I want you to, so you see all the variables that you have within that method,
Uh-huh.
the call method that you did.
Yeah.
I want you to copy all of the variables and then just cut them out.
Okay.
I want to see if that can help. Now, try and print something out.
Okay. Yeah. It's still saying that's problems and stuff.
Okay. In dot next double. Wait.
Oh, was I supposed to put was I supposed to put another dot after the next or no?
No, I believe the n and next may have to be lowercase. You may need to double check that. I don't remember.
Yeah, it probably does need to be.
Let me see. Well, I just want to make sure I give you the right information because I believe yeah, it's supposed to be lowercase.
I still can't figure out why it's saying cannot find these symbols. Like I have them right above.
So typically, the only time you're ever going to have a capital N when it comes to next doubles is if you're saying like in dot has next double, because then what would happen is you'd have a capital N, but then your H would be lowercase because that starts. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So yeah, that's typically, but you're not having to deal with that this time around. So that shouldn't matter much.
Okay.
Just as a reminder, Kareem, we've got 5 minutes left in the session. If
Okay.
you need me to, I can always stay a little bit longer. But again, I do have sessions tomorrow and also on Sunday. So if you
Okay.
still have questions, and also I just checked my email and I saw Professor Service gave you all an extension till Thursday to finish the coding project.
Yeah.
So, any point in time, just let me know. Like if you need me to extend this session, I'm happy to. But if you want to continue working tomorrow or Monday, we can do that as well. Whatever you need.
Okay, yeah, we could just do that. Yeah, we could just do that.
Okay. So you want to keep working on this?
Um
Or
yeah, okay, yes.
what would you like?
Um okay. I'm still trying to figure out like why they say they can't find these symbols. Like when I declared them, I think I declared them above. I believe
Okay.
so.
So I think the problem is you have midterm exam grade. Scroll all the way up to line 30.
Oh, it has to be the same as the
No,
main
no, no,
method.
no, no. No. So yeah, so at line 26, you have to remember something. Don't type anything yet, okay?
Mhm.
In your main method, those variables, those are rather special variables. Because test average, midterm exam, final exam, and grade average too. Those are in the main method. So those variables, and I probably should have said this earlier, but those variables if I'm not mistaken, they are applicable in any and every single method. They're applicable throughout the entire code as long as they're in the main method. Okay. So if you wanted to calculate the like grade average,
Mhm.
you wouldn't use those return statement variable names that you used because those variable names for the return statements are only applicable with method. Okay.
Okay.
I kind of wish I could just draw this out for you because then I think it can make more sense. Let me see. But I'll actually show it to you in a little bit. So if you go back to like the method where you do the actual grade calculating, you will probably want to use midterm exam as the variable rather than midterm exam. Wait, yeah, like midterm exam grade. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So yeah,
Wait, since we'll be doing that, would I need to change this or this
you do
doesn't?
not need to change that. You do not
Okay.
change that.
Okay. Got you. A midterm exam. Okay. Okay, now I think it was what was it also saying? Okay. It was also saying this homework average and test average did exist, but the test average part is up here.
Okay, I want you to go to your test average method.
Okay.
Okay. So I think the problem I'm seeing is because you have a variable called test average that's making that could confuse the code. So just because you have already have another variable that's calling the method called test average. So you're kind of creating an infinite loop, if you will, because you keep changing the value of test average. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Because you already have a variable called test average. So all it's going to do is come back here and it'll update itself as you keep counting. So you may want to like call it like test average except spell out average, or you could just do like all caps test average, or use some underscores, whatever works for you, frankly.
Okay. Okay. They were saying the whole. It was saying the same thing for my whole. Okay, but that's okay. Yeah, I spelled this out right here.
Okay. Well, no, you did. So okay, scroll up. You may need to call homework. Wait,
Oh yeah, see they have the
homework
AVG right
average.
here.
Okay, scroll back down. I want to see. Yeah, no. So they have a different name for homework average, like the variable. So let's go back to our get calculated grade method. And so there we want to use the different. So we want to use the new variable. So we're going to say homework AVG. Unless wait, yeah, homework AVG, and then when we want to spell out test average. I think so. Unless was test average the return statement? Do you remember?
No, wait, was it? Was it? Let me see.
Oh, wait, no. Test average was the return statement. So just say test AVG.
Okay,
My bad.
okay, now let's
So
see.
let's try this again. Let's submit and let's see what happens. These work.
Okay, yeah, it's still saying they can't find the symbol.
Okay, that seems a little absurd. That's weird. Okay. Um. All right. When can you meet with me next, Kareem? Do you happen to know?
I can be with you tomorrow or Sunday. I'm actually, yeah, I can do Saturday and Sunday
Okay.
if
So
need
do
be.
me a favor, sign up for that session so that I have some time to look over some old code and see if I can like maybe gain some insight from there, so that I
Okay,
can help you a bit more tomorrow because I think I'll be able to help you better then.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, let me sign up now.
Yeah. Did today help?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
it is.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kareem. Just you already have my email, so let me know if you need any help with anything, comp sci related. And yeah, you're free to leave when you need to.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Take care,
Yeah,
man.
thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you. That went well.